What's up, guys? I'm Trip with Rip Chicago, and you're watching Vision Vocal. I am Trip, otherwise known as Jalen. I do pretty much everything. I can say I started off with photography and videography, and then I branched off into clothes. The whole time I was doing videography and photography, I was working on my own clothes, just like making shit, doing artist shit, like trying stuff out. That's how really my brand came about, because at the time, I was doing all these photography events and doing concerts, and at the same time I was working on clothes, and I kind of just, the love for photography, videography died out, and I was like, I really want to go this way, and then I went full force.
And what made you want to switch over to strictly doing clothes and like your brand and stuff?
Long story, stress. I don't like the stuff that was happening. You dealing with these people and these big personalities, these big celebrities, and just, different individuals who have big heads and big egos. I come from a different type of environment. You're not gonna disrespect me. Like, that's really just how it is. You're not gonna disrespect me, and I'm not gonna just allow you to do, and treat me any kind of way. I don't have that. I never was afforded that ability to be able to be walked over. Like, you're not gonna walk over me. That's pretty much what was happening. And I'm like, I'm not, and I was having a lot of issues with people. I was getting like, I was having a lot of issues with people, and it wasn't good. I'm like, I might as well just do my own thing and push that way. Like, meanwhile, I was doing photography. I was dedicating my time to people that I genuinely felt love for. I was making money other ways, and I wasn't getting paid for my love and my craft that I'm dedicating myself to, because my friends think that I should be working for them for free, or they like free shit, just bumping heads. I'm like, nah. I just kind of had to, take a step back. Photographer beef, and I'm like, why do y'all? What the fuck is this, bro? Like, I come from a place that we don't do this shit. Like, this is not how this goes. You know what I'm saying? Concert, editorials, fashion. I started off doing landscape, and I just went where the money was, which was fashion, concerts, and what else? It was mainly fashion and concerts. I shot a lot of big names. I'm glad I got a lot of different type of opportunities. Like, my first concert I ever shot was, so crazy. I had a plug into the little concert or whatever. It was a Cardi concert way back in I think it was 2016. It was with Lyrical Lemonade. I snuck in. I'm 16 at the time. I just turned 16. It was up north somewhere. I forget where it was, but big ass pit. Like, it was Cardi, Lil Pump there before Lil Pump was Lil Pump. It was fucking Lil dude with pink fucking dreads. All the underground SoundCloud rap, and that was the first concert I really ever shot. And then I just kept going from there. I'm from over there by 79th and Cottage, man. I stayed on 79th and Champlain. No art scene, no none of that. I was the different one out of the group. I grew up being different. I'm able to hang around these dudes, hang around the people I grew up with, and be myself. It's a lot of facets of my personality. I've always been a person that's seen the bigger picture and was able to, do different things and hold my own. People would be like, but what the fuck is you wearing? What is that? This and that. Like, you weird, you doing all that. And I was able to take it and hold my own and do me. A lot of the shit I was doing when I was fucking 15, 14, 10, even 10, because, man, this generation, I will say we was raised off of, we had access to the internet. I don't say we was raised off of it, but we had access to the internet. I'm seeing different things. I'm on these forums, I'm on these fucking YouTube videos, these fucking Instagram pages. I'm just looking at all the different shit, and I'm like, man, I took a liking to it. It wasn't much of an art scene. I had to branch out of my neighborhood to really see that. Like, growing up, I really mainly stayed east and south. I didn't go far west, I didn't go far north. I had branched out and broke through and was able to head further north down this way, even go far north and get acquainted with different people who were doing fashion and like art and shit like that, and was able to find a place to find people and places to where I could express myself in that way, it was difficult for me growing up. Like, I was never the same as all these other people, and I had to hold my own, for real. Like, it wasn't no games with a lot of my circumstances in my life. Like, a lot of people didn't know how I was living or how I grew up. Like, I really come from a family who ain't have shit. Like, project families, like, for real. Both sides of my family, projects. My pops was from the Ickies. I forget where my OG from, but because my OG, she moved around a lot. She was on the north side, she was on the west side at the time, and we settled east. A lot of my family settled east. Whole life. I swear to God, I lived on the same block. Since 80 and Champlain. That's saving life is what I will say is what you feel me, but Champlain, I say my whole fucking life, man. But I've been able to branch out, and I've been grateful because I will say my aunties, my mother, even my brother, because he's a couple years apart from me. He's 6 years apart from me. So I'm seeing him in college do his thing, and it's kind of inspirational. Even my cousins, like seeing them do their thing and, you know, progress and just seeing different things. I didn't see the same shit. Like, I didn't see the same hood, street shit all the time. I was able to expand my mind beyond that shit. I really didn't take inspirations of to many people. I was inspired by the world. I was inspired by going outside, seeing different shit, seeing people live their life a different way, not like live their life the same and it's the same bullshit. I'm inspired by like just looking out, seeing the architecture shit, like cars, nature, like for real. If you go down south, they move at a different pace. They move so slow, so calm, so like the way they interact with the world and the way they perceive time is different from us. Chicago moves fast. People move fast. People come in and out of your life fast. We talk fast. We think fast. Just seeing them be able to step back and take time with the things that they're doing and not be in a rush to do shit is extremely like, it's a different type of mindset, and it inspires me to think a different way.
Right.
And observe things differently, appreciate small shit. Like just traveling in general, being around different cultures and different subsets of cultures. I love it. Plus, I ain't really had no choice. I was a bad kid. I'm telling you, bad. I wasn't the worst of the kids. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't the fucking worst. I didn't go to jail. You feel me? I didn't get locked up. I didn't fucking die. I think, when was that? How old was I? When I got into high school, it wasn't the work that was the issue. It was me feeling it. It was people dying. Shit, people in my school I was close to dying. That shit took a toll on me. I wasn't fucking with school in the first place. I began to jump around different schools. I wasn't going to school. I had dropped out when I think it was junior year. I didn't really have a choice. Like, I went to where my mind was, my heart was taking me, really, not my mind. My heart was taking me. My heart wasn't in the shit. Then I just went full force with the art and the fashion. Like, this is why I go so hard and appreciate and take time with my art, especially the different things that I'm involved with, is because I have no choice. For me, I have no choice. I have many choices of life, of course. You know what I'm saying? I can always go back to school. I still do educate myself and study because it's always important to fill your mind with knowledge and to know things and to be educated about how the way the world works and just a multitude of things. But like, I chose this because I really had no choice. I made myself not have a choice. Close friends, switched. I don't have a lot of close friends. I never really trusted somebody in the first place. Like a lot of people, I never trusted them in the first place, but it's been few people who have stayed close to me. My family, they supported me in a different way. They didn't really all the way support me, but I'm also a very private person. Like, I don't be around many people. I move by myself often. Like, I don't traverse the world with a group of fucking people or like even somebody next to me, because I completely trust and rely on myself. Like I said before, the photography and stuff, why I stopped. A lot of my close friends were artists also. The way I was going, I was pushing them before myself. I was, a lot of their little designs, some people were even involved with clothing brands. I was making their designs. I was doing a lot of free work for them and not taking credit for it, building them up and rather than myself. And then later on, they showed their colors and, you know, kicked me to the fucking curb, like seriously, in the worst ways, manipulative, like thought I wouldn't catch on. Like that support wasn't there. It was fake. It was a facade. Like she wasn't real. Few people were solid though. Like I will say that. If you see me next to them, like nowadays, if I take a picture with somebody, you see me next to them, you see me out with them, they really some trusted individuals. And people know me, I don't fucking fake it. Like I can't fake it. Even times when the people who I say were being dishonest, the people I was pushing, I took a step back, I stopped kicking it with them. D Shoot Up the Scene, my boy, he's a photographer. I have like many photographer friends, graphic designer friends. I make all the designs myself. I do work with different creators around Chicago who take quality as their first mission. I worked with this dude, Tristan, from Falto Clothing. Falto's been around, I think, for a while. It's been around for probably 3-4 years. He cut and sews for his own brand, Falto. And I do work with him to do like rips garments and different things like that. I'm starting to build a team. Like I really want to build a team. I feel like I have to be at a certain point to where I have to justify having a team, like a solid, dedicated team. Because I like getting people paid. I like seeing people move up in life also. Because I wasn't afforded that option. Like people weren't trying to put money in my pocket for real. I officially started 2019. I got the name from rips, came from really rips in your clothing. And then it evolved into something else, a deeper meaning. Rips came from me being like, when I was doing photography and stuff, I didn't have a lot of money. I was broke as fuck, like I wasn't really making a lot of money. I began to, but at the time, I didn't have money for clothes. I barely had money for pretty much anything. And I was running around doing bad shit and shit. I'd tear up my fucking jeans. I used to wear, like my favorite pair of jeans was Levi's 501s. I used to steady get those, tear them up, have holes in them. And I had to figure out a way to rework the clothing to, you know, make it new again. And that's really where rips, like the initial meaning came from, and then evolved to like rips in your spirit and just, you know, like a scar, rips like that. And it means like, man, you might have these scars, these rips in your clothes, but you can always transform yourself. Yo, the person who you are at the end of the day is what really matters out of everything. Who you choose to be, who you choose to interact, not losing love, like for real. Like I've always been a loving person. I've been through a lot of shit that'll make me real cold, but I choose to, rather than lose my heart, protect it. Use it for other things. I'm cold with whoever the fuck I gotta be cold with. For real. They don't get no type of love from me. Like a random motherfucker on the street, they not undeserving of love. Like, you know, like you don't gotta be a fucking asshole. For real. Initially, I struggle with having to understand, because a lot of people won't accept you for multiple things. They'll think you just this way or this way. They don't think a person can grow or be multiple things at one time. With me, I struggle with accepting the fact that I'm multiple different ways and I can be all these things at the same time, and somebody else does not define me. Always constantly breaking out of the boxes people try to define you in, or try to, because people will try to they try to understand you while they're understanding you. They will forcefully put you in a singular box. Like while I was doing photography, mainly in videography, people only put me in a box of a photographer. Oh, he does this is him. And I was, at the time, I'm branching off, I'm doing a bunch of shit. I'm like, oh, I do this and that. And they, oh no, this my boy, he's just photographer. I'm like, nah, that's not all of me. And you can be multi-talented. That's how the greatest people are made, being multi-talented, multi-skilled. Like I dedicate myself in developing a skill, not necessarily just having the talent. Like you gotta have skill along with the talent.
Do you find it hard to balance all those things?
Yeah, you lose focus like many times. Like I ain't never gang bang. I don't gang bang. That's not something I never did. Like, but I was around them street dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm outside with them doing certain things. I'm around them constantly. This is my environment. This is who I am. You know what I'm saying? It's difficult. When you lean one way too much, especially when it comes to that type of shit, you lose focus of everything you got going on in your life. Like I had to understand I understood from a young age what I had and my talents that I had. Because I was constantly reminded, studied these crafts and who were skilled in them. They would always constantly tell me that you're talented, you're smart, you're intelligent, this and that. And often I'll lose focus, not be able to really do my due diligence and put my work in. Like do what the fuck I gotta do for real, and not like be wrapped up in emotions and principles and fucking that bullshit. Being able to create. Just being able to see my work come to fruition just how I envisioned it, or even better. Like, I take time with my stuff. I sit on things for months at a time. Sit on it. Try to craft it the perfect way that I want it. I love money. I've always loved money. I get money in multitude of ways, but specifically for fashion and just art in general, I don't get money in art to feel good for me. I do it for my art so I can fund myself and really start to do bigger projects. That's the mission and the goal, to be able to do like crazy interactive experiences, have my own space, people come visit and see how things work and inspire other people to do great things, you know.
Are you somebody who overthinks the work that you're creating?
Sometimes. I take a step back. I do other shit. I try to travel. I just really take a step back and observe the whole process. Look at myself from a third person perspective, not as first person. This is me living this life. These are my emotions. Now I take a step back. I examine my emotions. I examine my thought process. Then I begin to rework and do the work again. Trust yourself. Have ultimate trust in yourself. At the end of the day, you should, like, you know how people do these very dangerous things, like, let's say, like, hang gliding, fucking base jumping. Some people who, like, even graffiti scene. One of my cousins, he used to be in the graffiti scene. I know a bunch of people in the graffiti scene, but specifically him. He knew this dude personally who was tagging around Chicago. They get on top of these buildings, lean over the side, or they do some weird shit and they get on the side of the building, they spray paint and they putting their art on the side of the wall. And they are able to do these things because they trust themselves wholeheartedly. They trust themselves to make sure they not gonna fall over the side of this fucking building. People die. Dude ended up dying, but he died doing something that he loved. And he was gonna, like, I know people who got multiple felonies because they won't stop painting. They literally just won't stop painting. And y'all probably seen some of their art, and it's beautiful. You know, they should be able to do whatever the fuck they want to, and they gonna do it. I don't have a plan, but I have a plan. I have a short-term plan and like a mid-term plan, but long-term, I have a vision, not necessarily a thought-out process. I have a vision where I see myself at. I've always longed for a luxurious ass life, like an easy life, to be able to have myself, like to be able to relax. I wasn't afforded the ability to really like relax in certain ways, like when it comes to the environment that I was in, like I never had like that shit. And it's not a way to live, because genuinely some like living is being able to do whatever the fuck you want to. Like, I'm talking about if you want to go outside butt ass naked and walk to the store without judgment, that's living. And you feel no judgment, you see no judgment, it does not exist in your mindset, or people are not judging you. That's living, serious living. And I want to be able to do that, wake up one day and feel like everything is taken care of. Like I genuinely do not have to do a single thing that day. And I can have the ability to take 6-month vacations and fully have everything run itself and still being able to, fund my lifestyle. I have a love for money because of the things that it does, not necessarily the money itself, because it's all numbers and paper. For real, yeah. And hop in my super, say if I want to take a drive, I love cars. I take a drive in my super luxurious car. If I want to drive in a sports car that day, or Cullinan. I don't really like Rolls Royces, but like that's an example of extreme comfort and luxury. Living to me is like, because I like easy lifestyle. My people come from the South. Like a lot of people's families in Chicago come from the South. So I have an innate thing in my heart to want to go and live in the country and live a slow lifestyle, like live on the fucking big open land and really be able to walk across the ground with no shoes on and feel the ground under my feet, connect with the world and connect with myself and be isolated or like surrounded by family. That's really, I feel like living is be able to drop everything that you're doing at a moment's notice, go to India and connect to whatever the fuck they got going on, go to Tibet, go see what the mountains feel like and bring yourself to a higher vibration of living. Because they, over in Tibet, they close to the top of the world, they're close to the sky. They live and exist in a different type of mindset and emotion and feeling in life. They're even their body is different. Like their vessel is different. The way they just observe things is different. It's a whole different perspective. 360. Each degree of 360 is a different perspective. That means all of you in the room are not looking at the same thing. No matter how much we describe it and we can say we're looking at the same thing, you observe, you picture it, and you know of it as whatever you know of it as. It's all a different degree of separation. So far, because I haven't traveled a lot, I haven't been out of the country. I've never been out of the country. It was weird because I think like Kentucky, like super deep in the woods. Like this is a place that you can find like seashells and like different things like that under the fucking ground and the earth. It's a lot of history there, and it's also super isolated. Like you pushed up in the woods, like miles of woods. Like whoever you with is who you with, and that's it. Nobody else. Everybody else 2 hours out. You got you. When I know a project is finished is when I can look at it and not be disgusted by it. Because if you look at your work and you'll be looking at it so much that you hate the way this shit looks. Like you just like, oh my God, I've seen it so much that I feel like people not gonna fuck with it. I feel like this is not something that I wanna put out. I feel like I wouldn't even wear it. But once I'm at a place of where I can live with something and pass that stage of like not hating it, I feel like then it's ready to be fully released. Cause not even overthinking, because I like to live with stuff. I like to see things age and see things live in a certain different type of climate. Like things change often, especially in this age. Like the culture shifts a lot. So thanks for watching Vision Vocal. You can catch me on social media, everything at RipsChicago, rips.chicago. Thank you for watching the interview. Thank you for taking your time and learning about me.